So do you want to start now and just leave it? Or do you
It's
want
going to go back on?
I don't know. It probably will. Oh, he's here. Thanks, Lauren. Okay, bye. Can you just put it up like a degree or two, Brandon, so it doesn't go back on here? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate you. I'm going to ask for a raise for you. Not promising you're going to get it, but I'll ask.
50 cents. 50 cents. Come
50 cents. All right. Cool. So you're ready. Let's see. Elevator music.
Don't be nervous.
First of all, I'm not nervous. I'm planning this out in my head. So leave me alone, Diana.
Cup over.
What?
Don't spill your cup over.
Don't you spill my cup.
My hands are right
My
here.
cup holder's right here. It's like, let me put it right by the power control.
You guys are hilarious. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the 1NELife podcast. I am Mike, M to the I to the C. And as always, I have my lovely co-host, the beautiful, the queen of karaoke, Diana from Socialholics in the building. We're in the elevator, y'all. We are going to the top floor. I have a special guest, my friend, Jeanette Vasquez. Did I say your name right? Vasquez, the general manager at the Doubletree Palmdale. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
How you doing?
I'm fantastic, as always.
That's good. But first, let's talk about it. If you're feeling down and need something to speak on, or just, business related, relationship wise, you just need to vent or tell your story. If you just want to give good vibes or even a shout out to somebody, reach out to us. Let us know. Let us have that conversation. The call-in number is 747-999-8021. Again, 747-999-8021. Or you can follow me, hit me up on IG at 1NELife Brand. Or hit the lovely Diana up. She might sing to you, but her IG is Socialholic TV at IG. So what's going on? How you doing today, Diana?
I'm doing fabulous as always.
Yeah. How was your week?
Amazing. Busy. Always busy.
Amazing.
Actually, so let me just say this. This Saturday is my first planned Saturday off.
Very nice.
Planned Saturday off.
In 6 months.
Wow.
No, we had a cancellation last week, but I ended up doing a family thing. But this is actually like the first Saturday that was like my day off.
Well, with 52 weddings
And it
planned,
worked.
that's a lot of weekends, yeah.
Yeah, I actually take time off in August and in December. So I'm double booked in May and September usually. So every weekend we have 2, and then
Yeah,
try
that's
to
a
take
lot.
August because it's too hot. I'm not from movies. It's too hot. I can't function in the heat or the cold. So that really limits me.
Right. But
Yeah.
that's good. Your business, Eventually Events. Shout out to Eventually Events. You guys. I remember you telling me a month or so ago, you guys was booked out for the whole year.
Mm-hmm. We're
Right.
booked 2022. I literally
Yeah.
just picked up one more event because it was my best friend's sister's wedding, and it's happening on a Monday. So obviously I don't have anything booked on a Monday, and I was like, I guess I can take that. Yeah, why not? So
That
I
is
get
so
to see my best
fantastic to
friend.
hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
But we're already
congratulations.
booking. Thank you so much. We're already booking 2023, and I actually have an event in 2024 already. So
I would assume, though, that things were so backed up, just because of the last couple of years, things had to cancel. People, not only planned new weddings, but backed up from things that they couldn't do before. So it's nice.
we 2 weekends ago, we actually were able to complete a wedding that has been booked since 2019 because they were
that's
booked for
crazy.
2020. A month before the wedding, we had to shut down. So then we postponed it, and they postponed to 2021. Then they were like, you know what, we just want to wait one more because, still things were happening. So then they finally, 3 years later.
It's crazy.
Wow, that's crazy. So how you been, Jeanette?
I'm good. Busy, but good.
You nervous?
Trying to balance. I'm good.
Sure. I know I've asked you 3
Why
times.
keep asking
I
me?
know.
Because now
he
we're-
wants me to be nervous.
Because we're on record now, so I just want to get it for the record.
I'm good. I'm feeling good. I'm amongst friends.
That's good. I appreciate that. Jeanette asked me the other day, like how she just told you today, she was like, I don't know if I have something to talk about. I was like, really, Jeanette?
I told my family the same thing. They laughed at me, too.
All our conversations are great conversations. And you know what? Jeanette, besides you, Diana, Jeanette is actually one of the few people I can say is a true friend out here. Like, ever since I met her. I met you, 3 years ago? Mm-hmm.
Guess where?
Karaoke.
Yeah, so your statement about I'll never find a beautiful, great woman at karaoke is kind of wrong because I met you at karaoke and I met her at karaoke.
There you go.
Are you single?
I am not.
Oh, see?
She's not.
So,
That's another show. We're going to talk. That's a whole nother show.
That
You
is
meet
really a
lot of-
whole other show.
you meet a lot of beautiful married women. Let's just say
Yeah,
that.
that's the problem.
Yeah.
But
But we're helping you get through that. Like, okay, this is what you need to look for. Stop doing these things. Start doing these things. Yeah, we're
Easier
trying to
said than
help
done,
you.
huh?
okay, that's another show. We're not talking about it.
Hey, you
I
got
guess
on
you
the.
But-
have, I guess
You
you have
started
off
it.
limits.
Oh,
I said, I guess you have off limits.
I do not have off limits. I'm very transparent.
Changing the topic.
I'm very transparent. I do not have off
which
limits.
is one of the things I love about you.
And that's my point I was going to say is like, even though she is in a relationship, whatever, but we've built this great friendship with us.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't get to see each other or talk to each other a lot, but we have great conversations whenever we talk. And that's why I really wanted her on the show. And I know it was your idea at first, but I had her on my list.
I think we're gonna name when we do the relationship talks. It's gotta be the One Life podcast After Dark, because then we can get like dirty.
I
and
think
deep down.
that's a very
It's a
good
good
idea.
idea, right? 'Cause
Yes.
then we can be
and
like-
it should be over like a nice glass of wine and stuff, you know?
I have to bring Barbara back on.
Oh, yeah.
For the wine.
We should do
Thief and
that at
Barrel.
Thief and Barrels. Yeah. Shout out to Barbara at Thief and Barrels. We got to do that at Thief and Barrels. But
All right, back on track. Sorry.
One Life
No more
After
rabbit
Dark.
trails.
Hey, I'm with that, though.
So, but on record,
What?
Yeah, on record.
your co-host is the one get credit for that After Dark part.
Is that what we doing now?
Nope.
Um,
You said on record, so I'm just like, let's just do this record.
you guys are hilarious. How's your week?
My week has been good, actually. It's been pretty busy. So it's
That's
been
good.
nice. I have my boss here for most of the week, so
Okay.
that's always fun.
That's always fun.
It's like the walking on eggshells.
He's actually a really good guy.
Well, tell him his place is beautiful. I have some ideas,
She's
Will
plugging.
do.
but it's beautiful. I think I
Thank you.
definitely see the potential here. You guys are brand new. It's beautiful already. So
Thank you. Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Like I said, it's been a work in progress, but every month gets better, every week gets better, every day gets better. So
it's good.
getting there.
Well, I
Moving forward.
definitely want to see a cocktails and combo here.
I know. I already had my ideas when I saw the cabanas and I saw the lounge areas and then this space. I was like, oh, this would be perfect.
Yeah.
So
So after the show, y'all can talk about that. But right now, we're going to talk about building relationships. That is our topic today. So why do relationships matter? It's because creating a relationship with both new and potential customers allow businesses to offer a more personalized and exciting customer experience. In a recent study, 86% of customers claim their experiences are just as important as the actual product or service they purchase. This means businesses are not only required to provide product or services their customer needs, but they also must deliver a great end-to-end experience across every touch point. So why is building a relationship important? If I were to ask you what makes a business successful, you probably will say a unique, unforgettable product plus an ability to deliver an amazing customer service. And you're probably totally right. However, although important, these two elements are not the only ones that drive success. In order to attract new and retain existing customers, you also need to dedicate resources and invest into building strong long-term business relationships that help people see the value and achieve their goals with the product or service. But there's more to it than just responding to emails on time, sending email marketing campaigns with discounts, or being polite on the phone. Just like a personal relationship, business relationships take time to develop. It's an investment. And with any investment, it compounds over time and usually requires a process that turns every touch point with a customer into an opportunity for communication, trust, and mutual growth. To put it simply, to be successful, businesses need to establish positive relationships with customers. So I picked this topic because all three of us, it's very important in our industries that we build relationships. And I want to talk to you because you're in the hospitality business. So kind of tell us what you do and why you got into it.
I kind of fell into it. I remember it's been over 20 years now, and I had interviewed for an admin job at a hotel and an admin job at a financial place. And both of them asked me to come on board, and the financial place was actually paying more. But I walked in there, and I was like, I can't do this. This is like too quiet, and it was sterile, and it was like I almost felt like I was walking into a hospital. So I was like, can't work here. Totally not my personality. So got into an admin job at a Marriott property, and and in this industry, honestly, I always tell people you either love it or you don't. It's very chaotic. There's always a fire burning. It's just you deal with it's repetition, but not the same. So I love people. I've met a lot of different people from all over the world, all walks of life, and that's why I stayed in the industry. And you're absolutely right. It's relationships. So I have internal relationships with my employees and external relationships with our clients.
So the other day, we was talking, or actually last week, and I kind of brought it up on our last podcast, quote you had said when we was having a conversation with Karen. People buy from people. Kind of touch on that, because I love that quote, and I think you're like right on target with it.
I'm a firm believer. I do that myself, right? Even like whenever, and I'll give you a good example. I was shopping for a car about a year ago and went to a couple of dealerships. Loved the car. And I got to say, I walked away because the salesperson he was horrid. And I'm like, I'm not giving you my money. I love the car and everything about it was fine, but I'd rather walk away. And ended up buying something from somebody that created that experience for me, right? Because I was already nervous. You're spending a lot of money. You're getting something new. You're getting into a commitment. And he made that process easy for me. And it's the same thing with hospitality. People buy from people. We have people that spend more time in our hotels than they do at home. And they come back to this hotel because of my front desk person, because of the bartender, because of the relationships that they build while they're on the road. And that's why they come here as opposed to the Embassy Suites or the Holiday Inn that's across the street, because people buy from people, and ultimately we are the ones that keep them here.
That's awesome.
It's relationship driven.
Right, and your business events is the same, right?
Yes.
So I mean, what was your thoughts on it?
It's very crucial because, and I really tried to be my client's friend, because I mean I'm going to be a part of their most important day if it's a wedding. They need that best friend that they feel that they can rely on, or sometimes they need a shoulder to cry on, and their maid of honor is just not there. So I have to make that feeling of warmth and welcoming, and that you can tell me anything, and I'm like, we're friends. You're not just my client. And this year alone has been so hard to really take that time, because there are so many clients. But it's finding that the personal posts on Instagram and saying, oh my God, you look so beautiful, or have fun on your bachelorette party. Those little, I stay involved. I stay engaged with them as much as I can. And when they do call me, like, Diana, last minute stuff, no worries, girl, I got you. Letting them know, yeah, I know, I'm busy, but I always have time for you. So it's so important, because like you said, that's word of mouth. That's how I get, to meet more people and make more relationships. That's more important than you're my client.
Especially in your field, because it's, like you said earlier, such an intimate event, I mean, you need to be able to have that rapport and that relationship from the beginning, because you're sharing such an intimate event with somebody.
And I've heard from brides that didn't hire me later on, I love watching how you are with your clients, because I wish I had that. My coordinator was more, not cold, but I was just another file to her. Okay, I checked my boxes and let's get your day done. There was no compassion. There was no real feeling. There was no heart in it. And that's what when I find myself kind of getting too busy and veering off, I have to reel myself back in. No, remember when you were planning your wedding and how much stress you were under and how many questions you had? That was so important to me, to have someone to talk to, and just girl, I'm losing my shit today. Can you help me? And can I just tell you how I'm feeling? And then I'll be like, girl, you got it. And then everything's fine. Letting my clients know that, it makes a world of difference. Yeah.
And it's like us here. I mean, like I said, we have people that stay with us literally every week or months at a time. And, it is making them a home away from home. I mean, they come, we have a guest here. Every time he goes back home, he comes back with pictures. He's showing his family all around, so we know who his kids are, the projects he's working on his farm. And, so it is, you get to see these people all the time. You get to build relationships. And I think, again, that's why, and to her point too, we have one and now we have 10 from the same company, right? Because they all want to experience what he's experiencing. Right.
And shout out to your front desk girl, because I just went there to get coffee, and I was like, I greeted her and stuff, and then I was like, so if a girl loved iced coffee here, where could she get some ice? Because I wanted iced coffee. And she's like, I'll get it for you. And I was like, thank you. And like just the friendliness and the eagerness to help, like right there, that made a difference to me. So if someone said, oh, where can we stay, in Palmdale? Like you guys would be fresh on my mind because I know it's going to be a hospitable place to stay.
And let me tell you something. That is the one thing that I tell people when I hire that you cannot teach. I can teach you a lot of things. I can't teach you how to have good work ethic, and I can't teach you how to have a good personality. You have to come with that.
You're born with that.
You either got it or you don't.
Not every job is for every person. And this, like you said, you either have it or you don't. This type of industry, like the hospitality has to be just in your bones because you just can't fake a smile when you're having a bad day. Some
and it's
people
hard,
just can't.
people, dump on you all the time, especially like the front desk, they get it the worst, you know.
It's like their hair salon.
Yeah. And, it's like I always tell people, you can't control anybody but the only thing you can't control is your reaction and your choices, right? But it is, it's a hard job for them, so.
So I was trying to have this intimate relationship this morning at Krispy Kreme's with a Krispy Kreme donut. I'm gonna be honest with you. I had a horrible experience today at Krispy Kreme donuts. So yes, if anybody works at Krispy Kreme, like it's horrible.
Call us.
No, I'm calling you out today
because so horrible? Did they deny you your donut?
For the last couple of weeks, I've been craving a Krispy Kreme donuts.
Thanks for bringing us one, by the way.
Well, okay, let me finish my story.
And Starbucks.
So this morning I got up early, and I had nothing to do until this show. So I got up and drove all the way over here to Krispy Kreme because it's right down the street. You know where I live. So I get there.
Where's Krispy Kreme?
Right by like where the Habit is and stuff.
Yeah, by Starbucks. In that shopping center with the Habit, McDonald's, all that right there.
In-N-Out?
No.
It's
Popeyes.
right where like Target is.
Oh, in Lancaster.
No, here in Palmdale,
Target.
Target.
Really?
Like,
I didn't even know.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what Krispy Kreme's is. Anyway, so I get in the drive-thru, go order, and I order a half a dozen donuts because it's just me, and I didn't want a dozen. And by the way, they're expensive as shit.
So where's the other?
I thought
5?
like the last time I've been to ordered a half a dozen donuts, it was like $3-4. It was like $11.
There 5
For
more?
a half a dozen donuts.
For
I think you ordered the wrong thing.
I'm trying to find out what the donuts are.
I buy them because my mom loves them. Like the whole dozen's like $13.
Then why they charge
What kind
me?
of donuts were you buying?
I don't know. I just said a half a dozen assorted, whatever. But I don't even want to pump them up. But here's my story.
You don't have the other 5?
What? Listen. Oh
Linda, listen, Linda.
Listen, Linda. So I give her my card, whatever, and then she comes back to the window and says, your card was declined. And I'm like, well, that's impossible. She was like, you want me to try it again? Like with an attitude, you want me to try it again? Yeah, please. But as I was looking at the card as she was trying to give it back to me, she had on these gloves, and my whole card was full of glaze. Oh. The glaze. Right? So in my mind, I'm like, well, I already know why it's been declined because you got glaze all over it. And I'm looking at her machine. It got glaze over it. Got a little glaze chippo under, right? So I'm like, yeah, please try it again. And she did it again. I see her doing it a couple of times. And she came back to me. She's like, yeah, it's still declined. And then I look and I grab my card. And then I do this out the window door. I look at it and I start wiping all the glaze off of it. And then she's like, do you have another form of payment? I said, you know what? Never mind. And then I just drove off. Because it was like, you put all this glaze on my card. I know my card.
And she didn't see that? Like, come on.
Exactly. And it's like, I know I got money on my card. I don't have $11. Like, come on, really?
That's like troubleshooting. That's also a talent you can't teach.
Common sense is not that common.
Exactly.
And for a number of reasons. And I'll tell you, like, my oldest daughter who's studying to be an engineer, she's so black and white and so technical that common sense escapes her sometimes. I used to be super worried about her. So some of it is just ability, and some of it is just that they don't care to think it through.
Well, it's like what you guys were just talking about, and we talked about with Amanda. Like this generation, like it's not their company, right? So they don't care. Like the girl, she's just working there for whatever reason. Like she really just didn't care. She didn't care about the sale.
But I also brought up when we were talking to Amanda that it's these kids are like 18, 19, 20, 21. It's partly the parents. Yeah. Like, what were you teaching your kids throughout their life? Like responsibilities, chores, common sense, troubleshooting, like figure stuff out. Like when my son's like, something's not working, I can't do it. Well, don't just give up. Why can't you do it? What's going on? Look at it. Maybe try it from a different angle. And it's like, I can't do it for you. Because if I do it for you, what is going to happen when you're 30 years old and, you can't do something? You're going to call me your mama? You know what I mean? So I'm like, figure it out. Stop being lazy. That's what it is. You're lazy. You don't want to work hard. But yet, a video game, you'll
Right.
figure those
Yeah,
little
it
quizzes
is the
out.
way that you're raised, a lot of it. But, I will say that today's society, as we were talking earlier, it lends to that environment. And it's really unfortunate. And it starts even in school. I was having a conversation. When I went to school, teachers were very, like, they were personal and they were caring. Like, I got a hug, right? Like, I remember, I was kind of a troubled teenager and but always a good student. And I remember there was a time where I was in class and I didn't go to school. My teacher knocked on my door, and today they're scared to even say that you look nice because they're going to get sued or whatever, So it
and the
starts
kids know
so
that.
young
The
today.
kids know that they have all this pull.
I
don't
understand. They have a right to speak, and a right to hear your voice. And it's like, no, that's not how I was raised.
I was raised, kids are seen, not heard, and sometimes you weren't even seen.
As my mom used to say, tú in Spanish, tú crees que te manda, pero no, which means you don't run your life, I do.
Right.
But today, kids they don't have any of that, and with the phones and the cell phones and the media and the internet, everything's so easy accessible. They don't have to think for themselves. They ask Siri. Right? And that's what I tell my daughter sometimes when they ask me. I'm like, I don't know. Did you think about it? Did you ask Siri?
Now the kids are saying, oh, I have anxiety.
Right. Everything's anxiety, right?
And I said, I have anxiety, but look at, like, that's not stopping me. Like, what? I'm like blown away by the excuses are now providing. They're just, you have anxiety, you need mental health.
I think it all started when everybody was a winner.
It's a lot of that cancel culture. It's a lot of that everybody has rights, everybody, like...
And they, and not to say that they don't, but at 11 years old, at 12 years old, at 13 years old, to say that you understand how you feel is ignorant, right? Because I'm going to be 47 and sometimes I don't get it, So, and for society to say that they understand it is ridiculous. And to the point where they're not resilient anymore.
What's the communication, too, with parents, like the open communication, being able to talk things through? Like, the parents are working so much that they're not home to be able to be there to listen to their kids. So these kids are going on Google and, Siri and Facebook and Instagram and asking other people for advice, and then this is what happens.
Yep.
But so going back to the topic, building relationship. No, and not saying we're off topic. No, we didn't go off topic. Totally. But at these kids at a young age, they should be learning that now because building a relationship does take time,
at the other
right?
podcast, I wish we could go have some type of classes that taught the kids actually real shit. It's like the real estate you mentioned. You go to take the test, nothing that you're going to be utilizing in the real estate world. Right. You're going to learn on the test, but you still have to answer them correctly.
Right.
It's the same thing. These kids are going to school, learning algebra, learning all these things that I don't remember using real life skills. You need to learn how to do your taxes, how to communicate with people in general, how to have hospitality,
finding your credit score matters. How do you bank?
Where is that? And they know they offer job education and stuff, but it's just a bunch of people sitting there like, fill this out, do this. Where's the caring? And there's not enough time, there's not enough people to teach all these kids, and that's what's happening.
All right.
Our society's failing them.
But right, so even like when we went to an event the other day. 24/7 events.
Their
re-grand opening.
Beautiful.
And
oh my God, beautiful stuff.
I was talking to Mike, your husband, afterwards, who was at Zelda's, and he had asked me if I was passing out business cards or something in that area. He asked me, and I said, no, I don't do business cards, which I don't. I've never done business cards in my life. Like all my life, I've never passed out business cards. And I explained to him that because building relationships is a process to me, right? It's not, we're not going to do business tomorrow. Like if I met you today, we're not going to do business tomorrow, right? It's a building process. And I feel like if you collect business cards, 'cause I used to collect business cards, right? And in a week from today, I look at all those business cards. I'm not going to remember you, right? If you just hand me your business card, say, hey, I'm Mike, I do blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to remember that, right? But if I have a great conversation with you, and in a week or two you see me again and you remember me, I did my job.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree 100%.
It's building that relationship, and then I have another conversation with you, and then another one, and now we're going to do some business because we just built a relationship. But just passing out business cards, I don't like that. I actually like to talk to people. People give me business cards, like a couple of people gave me them, but I just really just love having that conversation because I want to know you, because I can't get to know you from a business card.
That's true.
I don't know who you are. And for me, I'd rather do business with people that I actually know.
Yeah.
People buy from people.
People buy from people. There you go.
It's very true.
So back to, because I got a million questions for you, Jeanette.
know it's all three, but okay.
What?
$1 million?
Just three?
No,
What's your
I'm just
questions?
kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I was just joking.
You don't have no questions?
You know me, I'm organic. When they,
Are you
I
my
just,
co-host and I don't have a question?
because it's going to come to me as I'm talking. I'm like,
I'm just messing with you. So what, because you said you like people, right? And you obviously,
Most
you're
of the time.
really great. You're really great at what you do.
that's why I like you. See, we're so
She's like,
similar.
no, Jeanette is real. She's a real person. But what inspires you to like even be in this industry?
You know, that's a really open question.
We got
I mean,
time.
what inspires me really truly is my family, right? That's what inspires me to be a better person, to want to teach them how to be good people and good human beings. But in general, I think I love life, and life is what you make it. It is one choice at a time, and sometimes things happen, sometimes by choice, by not. But I think that generally speaking, people want to succeed. People want to be good. They just don't know how sometimes, and they're not shown. But I love life, and I like people because we are all different. I love sitting down next to somebody and having a conversation and learning their path and their walk. You know, we all have our own, and we all have similar, some not, and I think that inspires me, right? Because we only have one life.
Don't she sound like me? Me and her talk
We've
about this a
talked
lot.
about this.
Me and her are so much alike. She said if we ever got together, it'd
We
be
drive each other nuts.
Yeah, you guys
and
are-
I disagree
you
with
guys
that.
are too, it's too similar.
We're too similar, but
You
I
have to
don't
be a yin and
agree with
yang.
it. I don't agree
What
with
is
it.
that Instagram thing like? Marriage is comprised of
The
one
crazy one and the
crazy
quiet
one
one.
and one boring one, and I'm the crazy one in my relationship.
You are.
I am
You've-
too.
I've seen that a few times. Mike is super cool. I like Mike.
He's awesome.
He is
He's
awesome.
an asshole sometimes,
Are we all?
but I love him. Shout out to my husband, Mike. I love you.
Mike is super cool. I love hanging out with him.
He's telling me
I-
though. He's like, I'm an asshole.
I wish he would hang out more.
He works, and he's not. But you know, even when he's not, he's just not a social.
Well, like she said, she's the crazy. He's the quiet.
He's more like he'll be home all the time if he could. Like he loves being home. He's a homebody, and I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm always dragging him everywhere. He's like, can I just stay home one day? And I'm spontaneous. He hates it. Like out of the blue,
He's
like
a
let's
planner.
go take a drive to Santa Barbara. He's like, what? Why? What are we? Why? What
love
are we doing
that. I
this?
do that.
I'm that way, and so he's just like,
But at
I
least
need
he
like
does
a
it with you,
2-day
though, too,
notice. No,
right?
he's like, I need a notice.
Oh, he won't do it with you.
He not without a fight.
Yeah.
Like it's an argument, and then I'm like, well, I want to spend time with you now, anyways. Bye.
Yeah.
Stay home then. Forget you. But no, like you guys sound. But I think, and I was saying this, I only fuck with real people. You're the same way, and we are drawn to people that have similar thinking, and I think that's part of growth for us.
Right.
I'm one life. I don't want to waste time on people that are not going to be in the same path.
I completely agree.
And growth, like I don't want to be where I am today. I don't want to be in the same spot I am now in next year.
Right.
And you know, to your point though, I can respect, because I also know people. You know, I learned a long time ago, and it was a very, very hard lesson for me, that we do not all have the same capacity, and that's okay, right? Because I was very critical of certain people in my life because I thought they deserved more or they were capable of more, but that is not my choice. That is theirs,
not
and
their journey.
it is their journey. And so I certainly know people, even professionally, that are fine staying where they are, and that's okay. You know, if that's where you want to be, and then as long as you're happy, then who's to tell you that you need more? But very much like you know, I'm driven, I'm ambitious, but I did learn a long time ago that we do not all have the same capacity, and you know, that's okay.
And it goes back to what you say all the time. Respect people for who they are, not who you
Want them to
want
be.
them to be. And that's
a hard lesson.
Oh, it is. It's so hard because you see their potential. You know they can do it, like you said. But some of them are just not built to be.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
Yeah.
That is
You know
true.
what, I think,
Some
you
of my
know, for
kids.
me,
Just
yeah, I guess when it's your kids.
No, but you can do it.
You know, I always tell people, you know, as long as you're happy, it's like I tell my daughter, you know, my middle one who doesn't exactly know what she wants to do yet. And I tell her, you know, as long as you're happy, but you can be independent, take care of yourself, then you're okay. I don't need you to be a doctor. I don't need you to go, rule the world. I just need you to be happy, a good human being, and be able to take care of you and your family.
I just had this talk with my son a couple days ago, because he's kind of, he just kind of goes with the flow and work. Like, when work's there, great. When it's not there, he's just, well, it's coming. And I'm like, no. So, like, my thing is, I told him, go out there and try something new. Well, they're just going to tell me no. But it's a no now because you haven't asked, or don't be afraid to fail. Go out there expecting to fail, because you cannot learn and grow unless you fail. So the more you fail, the more that's a great sign that you're going to be excellent at something at some point. Failure is great.
But
quitting.
that's lost in today's world, and that's why I was saying that I think it all started when everybody became a winner, right? It's like you forgot how to teach kids how to fall down and get back up, and it's okay to fall down. Yeah. No, you gave everybody a prize and said, you're all winners. Yeah. Well, you're not. Thank you for the effort, and try again, and you may never win, and that's okay too, as long as you keep trying. And maybe this is not your thing, you have something else that's your thing.
We're all with the gift that's not yours, sweetheart.
Yeah, but resiliency is not that common anymore in young people.
That's the sad.
So what happens when? Because I just ran across this scenario recently, and it's the second time that I've run across this scenario, maybe 3. I think I lost track. But when you run across somebody and in a business setting, and they just like very rude, like, do you continue to build a relationship with them? Or, because somebody asked me that yesterday, because I was talking about one of your friends. You know what I was talking about.
Is this the same one that I talked about the other day? Because that's not cool to say that's my friend.
No.
I'm just saying.
No.
Not everybody's my friend.
No.
My friends
not
are real
her.
people.
Not her.
Reaction.
I hate that. He's like, your friend. I'm like, she's not my friend.
Guilty by association.
No, I wasn't even associating with her.
She wasn't. No, it's not
just
her.
because I know her.
No, not her. The other one, the first one I've met. You know what I'm talking about.
The one that snubs you.
The one that I could have fell in love with.
The one that ignores you until you're ignoring her.
Exactly. So I was telling the story about her, right? And so then somebody asked me yesterday, they was like, and I've told you this, her work is very good. Like, she's great at what she do, right? But it's just her attitude what makes everything look fucked up and ugly, right? So somebody yesterday said, well, would you allow that relationship to build, and would you work with her in the future, or would you continue? I'm talking to Jeanette right now.
I have something to say about that off record later.
Not on the record.
No, because they might listen and I'm being in trouble.
So exactly. I think, obviously, in what I do, you have no choice, right? You have to, if my guest is here and he decides to be here, or she, every week, you still have to, you're going to have to deal with it. It's not like I can ignore them, right? But, I learned a long time ago from a very good mentor that we need to learn how to manage people up. And I didn't understand what that meant in the beginning when he told me. And what that means is and I had to learn this really with my daughter. Because when she was going through her teenage years and lost her damn mind, I had to figure out how to communicate with her so that we can get from each other what we needed. And that's the same thing with people. I may not respect their methods. I may not like who they are, but you still have to be courteous. You still have to be respectful. And I find that even with people like that, like I'll tell you, we had a guest at another property, and nobody cared for this person. He was rude. He was very rude, and without any reason to be, but he was never rude to me. And they were like, why? And it was like, because I'm always super nice to him, and it's really hard for him to be really mean to somebody who's being super nice. Oh, yeah. And so eventually we created a new form of relationship, right? It was never going to be one that is super sincere and but it was enough for him to get from me what he needed, and for me to get from him what I needed. And I think that, especially in a professional environment, maybe in a personal environment where you have more option, right? And you can say, this person is negative, I don't want to deal with him, and I don't have to. But in a professional environment, you can't do that. I'm going to say, when I was younger, I had, a mentor who always said, you have to be the bigger person, right? And that's, sometimes you just have to rise above.
Right, but but two scenarios, right? Like that's customer base, right? Like I get that. Like, as a business owner or management, like you're in management, that you have to do that. You kind of got to suck it up for your customers, right? But I'm talking about, let's say for instance, if one of your vendors, like you like their
Let's
product,
say you
whatever.
get flower delivery every week, and the florist that you work with is just a total bitch.
Right.
Would you
Well, that
still continue to work
probably
with
not,
her?
no.
You would probably
No.
go somewhere
and,
else.
and to your point though too, like there have been people that we will not accept back. There have been guests that we say, I'm sorry, but you have no right to speak to our
Right.
employees that way. It's just crossed the line, and we will not take them back. So to your point, there's always that line too that's
Yeah.
acceptable and not acceptable. But especially as a vendor, if I'm the client, again, people buy from people. I'm not giving you my money if you don't give me what I need overall, right? And it's just not the product. It's a good relationship. It's a good working relationship. And if you don't have that, then there are a lot of other vendors to buy for, right?
Right.
I
Well,
think a lot of it is also for me, and I'm huge on communication as far as if I'm mad at somebody or if I didn't appreciate how someone responded to me, talked to me, treated me, I'm the first to be like, can we talk? And I'm like, hey, so the other day when did it happen? Like, I really didn't like how you talked to me. Like, I don't tolerate that type of tone or that type of whatever. Are you good? Like, did I do something to offend you, or are you like going through something? Like, let me know, because if that's like, if you're going through personal shit, you need to figure out how to keep that separate. But I can relate to somebody who's can say, you know what, I'm going through a divorce, I'm going through a breakup, my mom's sick. I can go through those human emotions and be like,
Right.
oh shit, I'm sorry. Like, okay, well maybe I'm not gonna take it personal, but you might want to check yourself on that, because I'm telling you, I can only imagine if someone else is talking to that.
But this is coming from somebody that you have some type of relationship with, right?
Right. Or
Yeah,
if
so
it's
that's-
like
yeah.
like I said, for your example, like the florist, let's say, I'd be like, like, we don't have to work together. Are you good? Like, do you not want to do this? Like, I would literally ask her that. Like, why do you have an attitude every time you come in here? Like, you don't have to be your client. Like, we can go to some, down the street. And I'd give them an opportunity to at least say, like, because that sometimes shocks them. Like, maybe no one's ever told them that they're a bitch. Maybe they're like, that's,
Yeah,
and
no,
it
that's a
might
really good point.
change it. So I always try to give the benefit out. I don't know what someone else is going through. I know there's times I probably drive erratically. Shut up, Mike. And like, I'm going through something and I'm like cutting somebody off and I don't mean to, but I might just be dealing my own thing, or I might have been rude to somebody and I didn't mean to. Maybe
I tell
was
my team that all the time. I mean, because like I said, we deal with all kinds of people, and you have to, I always tell them, and young people do tend to take things a little personal or to heart. And I tell them, most of the time, 99% of the time, it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them.
Right.
And that's why I say that you can't control them, but the only thing you can control is how you react to it and how you choose to move forward.
Right, and that's why I was telling the person, because they was like, well, I think you should do business, like grow that relationship. But I was like, well, if it's someone I knew, like on a personal level, like how you were saying, then I can like maybe understand and like give them the benefit of doubt. But even for a business owner, when you're in a business setting, you can't bring that into business. Like you should already know better.
First
you should,
impression.
Yeah, you shouldn't be
I
in
think
business.
if you want to, like, if you honestly feel like that person would be
of value.
of value, I think you should address it the next time it happens. Though and this is for real, like knowing who you're talking about. This is what
Which
I'm
one?
telling you.
First or second?
The one that you're talking about today.
Okay.
I would say, hey, can I talk
The
to
one
you for a
he's pining
second?
over?
Yes. I would talk to her. I'd be like, we need to talk for a second. And it's going to be like, whatever. Like, yo, like, what the hell did I do to you? I
But
don't
sometimes
like,
that's
you know
just
what I mean?
a personality. Like,
And it is.
people are
And that's what I'm
different.
saying. You need to, and when that happens, you need to accept that that's just what it is. Like I've told you, that's just what it is, and move on. There's a million of others.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes you have to, people are different. And, like you have negative people who don't know that, and not that they don't know that because they've been told. Like I have had people in my life that have been told, like, I just can't deal with you, you're draining. But it's who they are. And it takes, and I tell people this all the time. It takes concentrated effort to be positive.
Oh, yeah.
It really does.
Every day training your mind.
It takes concentrated effort. I remember when I was younger, I grew up in New York around drugs. I was very negative when I was young. And it took it took concentrated effort of me talking to myself in the damn mirror every day for a long time. And then one day you wake up and it's just who you are, right? But it still takes concentrated effort to stay positive.
yeah.
And
Especially
people
when shit
don't work on it.
happens.
It's like you talk about it all the time that you have to work on yourself, right? It's a mindset. It is a mindset. It's like I tell my daughters, the mind is a muscle like everything else. And if you don't train
Exactly.
it, it's not going to do anything for you.
Right.
Like the lifestyle, like going to the gym, it's everyday constant disciplining yourself. Like when I have negative thoughts, like Diana, stop thinking like that.
Yeah.
It's constant, and if some people don't know how to be that strong, and so I know I can't deal with negative people.
So since you brought up New York, I want to know your personal story.
Walking here. Sorry. Give me some coffee.
No, I mean, tell us your background, your story, like from New York.
I'm from New York. I was born and raised in the Bronx. My parents, who were never married, got divorced.
Never married, got divorced.
It was, a Spanish marriage, right?
Okay.
Like you stay together for years and then one day you get divorced. Technically not.
Right.
So anyway, they separated when I was, I don't know, about 6 or 7, because long story. But anyway, I grew up in New York in the 90s primarily, and in the late 80s and the 90s, it was super drug infested. There was, literally lines for people to buy crack, or you had dope fiends passing out all the time. So I grew up in that type of era. I had a lot of I was a smart kid. So I had, like I was telling you guys earlier, like I had really good teachers and people who cared, who looked for me on a Saturday and always said, Jeanette, I have people who really invested in me. And so even though I was kind of wilding it when I was younger, in the back of my mind, I always had those voices, and always had those people kind of, this is not who you are. This is, you're so much better. You can do so much better. And so, you just keep pushing. But I came to California when I was 19, and it's probably the best thing I've ever done.
Did you know Jenny from the block?
I did not know Jenny from the block. I knew a Jenny from the block, but not the Jenny from the block.
So I have my stepfather's family lives out in New York, and I went to New York I think 2020, right before everything went crazy, and 'cause my husband went there for training, and I went on a tour by myself, and I went to Harlem, and I got lost, and I thought I was gonna die. Like I was
Why?
so scared because I'm not from New York. I'm
But so
Cali.
what? Let me tell you something though. New Yorkers
Look at
are
her
friendlier.
accent came out. I heard it.
New Yorkers are friendlier than Californians.
Well, I don't know these things, right? So I went to McDonald's and where I got lost because I was like, that's the safest place I could think of. Like, what's a McDonald's? What's going to happen here? And I had to gather my thoughts and my bravery, and I was like, no one's going to fuck with me. And I took the subway because I missed the tour bus, right? That was the last tour bus. I missed it, and I was like, shit. So I took the subway, took the wrong subway. So then I was like, I ran to security. I was like, I don't know where I'm going. I got to go back to what's the main street again? I forget. Where all
Broadway?
where all the...
Oh, Times Square.
Times Square. So that's where we were staying. So anyways, I got back. But to my point of being from California, I was walking down Times Square to go shopping, and some New Yorker guy was like, hey, Cali. But I didn't say nothing. We're all wearing like heavy clothing because it's freezing. So I'm like, how do you know I was from Cali? Did you have known I was from Cali if I was just walking?
I don't know. But funny story, I was at the airport like 2 months ago, and I'm chewing my gum, and the guy's like, you're not from California. And I was like, why? He's like, I could tell by the way you're smacking your gum.
Yeah, the New York smack.
He said you chew your gum with confidence. My boyfriend tells me I chew my gum with confidence. I was like, that was just so weird. He's like, I know you're not from California. I was like, how could you tell that? He's like, because the way you're smacking your gum.
That's crazy.
Hilarious.
And maybe you were too overdressed. Were you overdressed?
It was, everybody was wearing, they had they had Timbs and they had like those big poofy jackets, but I was dressed warm with my scarf and my beanie.
I don't know. I don't think so. But you know what?
Mike
I
says it was the way I
say
work,
too,
not this Mike.
I love
it's the way
people
you walked.
watching. I love people watching, but I also kind of walk with blinders on.
Me too.
When I'm,
If I'm by myself, I'm more observant.
Yeah.
And if with my husband, I don't see nothing. He's
Yeah.
like, did you see that? I'm like, no, what happened?
Yeah, no, completely agree.
When I went to New York 25 years ago, and I went as a kid, but as an adult, I went 25 years ago, and I remember because my son's 25 now, or he's 26, I should say. And when he was 1 year old, me and my ex took him to New York because I have a lot of family out there, and they was having a barbecue, and we decided to fly out there and go just to a barbecue.
That's
just
crazy,
for a day.
but that's
well,
cool.
That's because Nina at the time worked for United, so we flew for free.
Nice.
So we was like, let's just fly out to
Do
New
it.
York. Yeah, it was
I
like
like
cool.
that.
I'd be doing it all the time.
I know.
So we get to New York in the subway, and the subway was just bonkers. It was bananas, like just crackhead people. Just it was funny as shit. But when I got out of the subway, we went up the stairs to the street, and the moment I walked up, and you can tell I was straight from California. Like I had gold chains on, like I looked the part of Cali, right? And the moment I got up there, I looked across the street, and there was so many hood. Because we went to the Bronx. So many hood
You're
niggas.
like, put those necklaces.
Oh, I did.
Oh,
I
yes.
started taking on my watch. I was like, oh, Nina was like, what you doing? And I was like, do you see all them niggas on there? I was like, I'm not trying to get robbed out here. Like, I didn't know where my family
New York has
was.
changed a lot.
Like, I didn't know where my family was. It was my first time there as an adult. I didn't know where I was going. Like, yeah, it was scary as
You
shit.
should go back.
But you know
Well,
what?
I've been back like
It's-
plenty of times since then.
Yeah, and it's changed. I mean, I grew up poor, right? My mother was on welfare. My dad was kind of a loser. May he rest in peace now. But it was one of those environments where we did. We knocked on our neighbor's door for eggs and sugar, and then the next month they knocked on our door for milk and sugar, or whatever the case may be. But what I will say is that I grew up in a neighborhood.
Yeah.
I grew up families where it really takes a village to, and that's kind of how I grew up. I remember I was here for like 10 years. My mom was here for like 10 years. And somebody asked her what the biggest difference is. And she said, over there that you have neighborhoods. Over
Yeah.
here you have streets of buildings where people live.
And it's privacy.
And it's
here.
just different, So what I will say is like it was hard, and life wasn't easy. But I still had a pretty decent,
community,
I
sense of
had a good childhood. We had real holidays, it's just friendly.
Yeah.
It's very community driven. On a Friday, after work, you go, everybody makes their rounds, you have a cup of coffee here, you have a drink there. There's always food, there's always kids, there's always music.
Yeah, you go to someone's house, you're eating dinner with them. Like, I loved hearing my dad's stories about growing up, even though, like, a lot of what you said is what he would tell me, but I used to love hearing, like, when the fire hydrants were busting, they're
Love
like
it.
playing in the water and
Yep.
they're having a good time. And
And the guys playing dominoes outside.
the elevator broke, they're climbing, 15 stories of groceries. I'm like,
or
Yo,
in
me.
fact, your mother throws the pail outside and you
Yeah.
put this whatever she wants in, and then she takes it up. We used to have an old lady that used to sell limbe. It's like ices. She used to make them homemade, and that's how she sold them. She'd go out her window, throw down the bucket, you give her the money, she give you your icy
that's
back.
so cool.
Hanging out, I met some of my best friends on fire escapes. We moved into this new neighborhood, and it was the summer, but you didn't have anything to do. I was on the fire escape, she was on her fire escape, and still
That's
talk to
really
her
cool.
today.
Hilarious.
That's cool.
So back to our subject, because you guys just really went rabbit trail off.
Us. Somebody brought up a person.
Oh yeah, but that was on topic though, because I was talking about building relationships, and my question was, should I still continue to build a relationship with her?
I think that depends on what you see in it. If you find value in it, and if it's, I always say, especially in relationships, especially if you have a choice, if it's not going to be positive and it's not going to bring value,
It's
then
draining.
I can't do draining
Well,
relationships.
I don't know, because I've never had we've talked, but I never really had like a deep conversation with her, so I don't know.
Do you think
But
that'll ever
obviously,
happen?
she kind of bugs you already.
She bugs him because he doesn't. She don't pay him no mind. That's why she bugs him. He's like,
But
Don't
don't
talk
you
to
know
me.
I'm Mike with a C?
I know.
It's so annoying when
The
we
first time, right, we met, right? And so I saved his number, and I don't know how, but he corrected me. He's like, you don't spell my name like that. He was so offended.
I'm offended with
It's
everybody.
hilarious because him and my husband, the reason why I think they get along so well is because they're similar. And Mike is MIC too, but he doesn't, like, his legal name is Michael or whatever, but like all of his emails, his gamer tags, everything is MIC. MIC friendly, always. And I'm like, oh my God, you guys are like that. Everything, like a lot of stuff. That's why they get along good.
But I've had that name since I was a kid. I mean, my legal name is Michael as well, right? But I've always written down MIC because I grew
That's
up in
how
the
it is.
music industry. So that's where I get it from.
Old email account was MICCIM for like, since he was young.
Even when people give me
crazy.
checks and contracts, even like surprisingly checks, when I take those checks to the bank, they just cash them.
Yeah.
Like, and it's been like
I
that
don't
for
really care
years.
anymore.
They don't care about names. Yeah.
I still get a check that says my maiden name and I cash it under my married name. So.
Jeanette, so I do want to ask you this question. advice for someone in business that is having struggles with building a relationship, because everybody don't know how to build a relationship or build relationships.
Amen on that.
You know, I mean, you're a general manager and you're pretty good at it.
Pretty good.
But you know what?
Pretty
It's like
good
I
at it.
said, you can't teach everybody how to have a personality, and you have to be able to function in your own capacity. But I think that the number one thing that most people lack is sincerity, just being sincere. And I just find whether I deliver a bad message or a good message, as long as I'm sincere in it, I think people take it the right way. You know, I've had clients tell me, you know, when I tell them, give them bad news or whatever, like I had a client tell me, oh my God, why is it that I want to be so mad at you when you tell me these things, but I can't, because she knows that I'm sincerely empathetic, right? And I do feel bad that I can't accommodate or that I can't. And I think that people lack that today. You know, it's just sincerity, and it doesn't, and when I say sincere, it doesn't mean that it has to be good. It's just being honest and transparent and truthful. And I think that people lack that today, just in general.
A lot of times, if I'm going to deliver news that they may not like or I'm unsure of, I say I want to be completely transparent with you. I want you to know that I may not have the answer to this, or I don't think that's going to happen. You know, like I'm transparent. And a lot of times when I say that, they're like, oh yeah, like it puts them like on a, they're not, you know what I mean? Like it's a different approach, and people are like, oh, okay, I understand. Thank you for that.
And at the end of the day, it's because it's a feeling, right? You have to connect to people. People want connection, and you know, this property is a really good example. We, you know, had a rough start. You know, with the food and beverage, we had to close food and beverage down for a little while. And then when we opened it, you know, I've gone through staffing challenges. We didn't have all of our accounts set up. Like we did, you know, we have some really good like whiskey drinkers, and we didn't have like a good variety. Yeah. So like, but because we're sincere and because they have built those relationships with our team members, with myself, they're very forgiving, and they root for us. You know, like we do good and they're like, oh my gosh, this place is popping. I'm so happy for you, you know. But we didn't provide all of the amenities they may have been expecting or wanted, but and we've gotten better, right? So now they have what they need. But because we were able to build that sincere relationship with them, they were much more forgiving and much more, you know, flexible in how they approached it as well. And I think that ultimately, if you're sincere again in your approach, then you're always going to get a better response.
Yeah, I agree.
That's great. You're right on target with that.
And I found like even in just in general, and I think we talked about this before too, like I really don't want, especially in my personal life, it's like I tell people, I don't have a lot of friends. I have it's like this. Well, you can't really see it.
I feel real privileged right now.
But I have good friends, right? And the relationships that I have, they are, you know, and as I get older, I don't need to hide anything from anybody. You know, I am who I am, and I'm not perfect. I don't expect anybody to be perfect, but I want sincere, transparent relationships, and there's no reason why we can't have that, especially in our personal lives. And that's with friends, family. You know, it's like, just because you're my family too don't mean I need to put up with you.
I agree with that.
You know what? That is true. Come to think about it, she be telling me some fucked up shit. And I'll be looking at her, and I'll be like, I can't be mad because it's how she says it. It's the approach.
Oh, to you.
Because he doesn't always hear what he wants to hear.
Yo, you know, girl, we can talk about this. But so I do want to ask you. You said that this is a new concept or this is all brand new. I know you guys got this before pandemic or right in the middle of it.
So they bought the property before pandemic. It was supposed to open up before pandemic. The pandemic happened, so we didn't open up till late October of last year. So the property sat here for almost 2 years. Yeah.
Okay. Now, you guys, it's a beautiful, and I know I mentioned this already. What can we do? Like me being in the event business, Mike, you know, we're trying to, you know,
build a community,
build relationships. What would you like to see here? What can we talk about that maybe someone that's watching can be like, oh, you know, I know somebody, or this will be great, or let's have my event here, da 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 da.
And that's exactly it, right? It's just creating relationships and rapport, right? Because, you know, word of mouth is our biggest marketing tool. It's experience. It's like I said, you know, we've gained occupancy and we've gained more people week over week because people refer, right? It's like, you know, you had him staying over there and now with his colleagues, and he came here and now he's like, oh, this is a great place. You have to meet. They come over. So, I mean, I think word of mouth and just kind of letting people know that we're open and we're here is probably the best thing that you can do for us, you know?
That's awesome. Okay. I like that.
But no, I mean, that's true. And that's one of the things I try to teach people about building relationships. It's not all about like, hey, let's do business, like I said, tomorrow. Like, it's just building a relationship with them. Like, I've known her for 3 years, and I've never done business with her, right? But like today might turn out to be something because I introduced her to you, right? And so I'm happy
Well,
with
I'm already
that.
ideas of, I know we do coffee and convos every first Thursday of every month, and then we kind of switch it up. So 1 month it's coffee, 1 month it's cocktails. I think the cocktails would be more beneficial
And that's what I
here,
told her too.
which the next time would be September. So I'm already, as we're talking, my mind's already going like, okay, how are we going to situate it? Where are we going to put it? What's the flow going to be like? Because I really want to show off the space, but also have a great opportunity for the networking and bringing, because a lot of times, you know, most of our events happen in Lancaster because I have such strong relationships with businesses there. So I know I can call and be like, hey, you know, we're going to have another coffee and convo or cocktails and convo. Are you know, do you want to host it? And I know I'll get a yes. I don't have a lot of tight relationships in Palmdale just yet. And not to say I don't want to, but it's just I
Well, you're
haven't
building
had
one
the
here.
developed, and I'm building one now, and I'm so looking forward to now working on
absolutely.
something with you.
And so we're here on location at the Doubletree Palmdale, and you was telling me yesterday that this, or the other day, this is the only full service hotel?
Well,
or how do you, I forgot how
yes,
you
it is
phrased it.
technically the only true full service hotel that you have in the market.
Okay.
The other one would be like the Embassy.
What defines it as
service.
full service?
So you have,
You have a
room
bar.
service,
That's
a
cool.
full service restaurant and bar. You have catering space, that sort of thing. So it's
Do you have
kinda
banquet rooms for like
we-
events?
That's actually a banquet room. It's a little over
I'm gonna
2,000
take a
square
tour
feet.
when you're done. That'd be awesome.
Absolutely. So those are the main differences. Most of them don't have, like the restaurant and bar is probably the biggest thing.
Okay. So, yeah. Cool beans.
Cool beans. What are you doing tonight? Where can we find you, Mike?
Can I say you're an asshole right now? I'm gonna be like Mike right now. I'm gonna be the other Mike.
Where can we find you?
What?
Wait, which karaoke spot?
What do you mean?
Just
Which
kidding.
Curie? Everybody know.
There's
and
only
see,
one
I-
on Friday night.
There's
Where?
not one on Friday night. There's two.
Where?
There's
I don't know.
Madrano's or Don Cuco's.
Yeah,
I've
but
never been to that one.
but
Don
see,
Cuco's? It's different. So Madrano's is like more that like crazy live scene where people are just drunk, having a great time, birthday parties, bachelorette parties, crazy vibe.
Yeah.
You only get to sing like once or twice because it's so packed. But shout out to KJ Jonathan because he's one of the best
Yes.
KJs here. Don Cuco's also has an amazing KJ, Latifah. Shout out to Latifah. Both of them are like my preferred.
Where is that?
It's off of
K and
K
10th.
and 10th, right by Bike Target. But it's always packed. However, it's a more like chill vibe versus like that party vibe.
see, I like. And shout out to Latifah. She's a great KJ. I just kind of just met her maybe a few weeks ago, and she's super dope. But the only thing I don't like about Don Cuckoo's, and it's not a bad thing because I actually like going there and having karaoke, it's the ambiance. It's like an intimate setting.
It's dark.
It's dark. It is, yeah. But like up here to like Madrano's, it's
And I
like very
like
lit
that.
party, like lights flashing. It's like more upbeat.
I like the dark.
Do you?
I like both.
I mean,
I feel
I
like
like
I'm
the
like,
dark.
it's just
Depends on the
too
mood.
much when
But to
I'm
me,
like-
it's not a karaoke setting though.
I liked. Oh man, when I used to run with Cold Crushes karaoke, or even when I was working with Rio that one day, I was like, "Can you guys dim the lights?" Because it's like, I don't know. I feel like when the lights are all on, it's just too sterile for me.
Right, but even like Jonathan, he turns off the lights
He
on
does.
the stage.
I was gonna say,
but
it's
but
not
saying-
that
but
bright.
It's not that bright. But what I'm saying, it's the
So
lights
you
that
need
makes
more
a
of
difference.
the party lights. You
The
would like
party
more
lights,
of that?
yeah. The house lights are dimmed down, but the party lights are going to where it's still more of a upbeat vibe.
He wants a beat when he karaoke.
I like to perform. You guys know this, so I want a
Look,
crowd.
we got it
I'm
on
like,
record. So when Carlos called you like a professional karaoke,
I'm not a professional karaoke.
that we put on a show.
I'm not a professional.
How many songs
We are
do you have?
professionals.
Listen, I tell everybody this, and I've told you several times.
You need to own it.
I make shit look good.
Okay.
That's what makes me a good
fake,
producer.
You know,
I just make shit look good.
fake it
I'm
till
great at my job. I'm great at
I'm a
what I do.
professional karaoke singer.
You are. She does
I'm a
roulette.
non.
She does roulette karaoke.
I don't even know what that is.
That is, you just go to the DJ KJ and you say, just pick a song and I'll sing it.
Oh, that's
Pick a song that you think I would know, and I'll sing it, and I love it. I know I bomb a lot of times.
That is not cool.
That's cool.
Well, it's cool for her because she knows how to sing.
There's
There's no way in hell someone can
There
say,
have
hey,
been
sing this
plenty
song.
of
And I'll be like,
times that
whoa.
I've sang songs that I'm like, ooh, that's not my song. That's not my song. Or my husband will record me, and I'm like, why'd you let me sing that? Oh my God. Like, horrible.
Well, at
My
least you
drink
do it
limit's
anyway.
usually 4 drinks. If I have more than 4 drinks, there's no telling what
Then,
I'm going to do.
then Dirty Diana come out.
No, Dirty
You remember
Diana
the
comes
song?
out after 2 songs, 2 drinks. Dirty Diana comes out after 2 drinks. After 4 is a whole other Diana. No, and then I really am off key. I'm sloppy. I think I'm a superstar, so I'm working the room. I'm just like, I'm singing with you, and I think that I'm this. Yeah, it's a hot mess.
Well,
Okay.
at least,
4
at
drinks.
least, at least you do it.
Yeah.
I do not karaoke.
But you're a great audience.
But wait.
Yes,
That's important.
I love going to karaoke.
See, every aces in their places. See, I need an audience. I don't like when I'm singing, like, so when we go places that are, like, really brand new and there's nobody, that's, for me, is stressful. I'd rather be a crowd full of people than nobody.
Yeah.
Or one
I
person.
can see
Right.
that.
So you're the same way. You can't sing it.
Yeah,
It's just
I
like a
can.
vibe. It's like,
yeah. Even like last night, I didn't do no songs last night.
really?
I didn't do.
Did you go to Madonna's?
I went to Madonna's.
He was
last
dead?
Yeah.
Aw.
Are you going back tonight to take a look?
night. Are you going tonight, Jeanette?
No. I'm going to Camarillo.
Yeah, go to Camarillo.
Oh, I'm jealous.
Oh, me too.
I love Camarillo. That's my
I
next
don't know
place.
why, because it's like retirement city.
So what, though? I mean, just the air, the weather.
I went over there a couple weeks ago, and I needed
There's
to get
some
my
cool
toes.
spots, though.
Not in literally everything closes at like 8:00. There's one or
Even
two.
on the weekends?
Yeah.
Yes, there's one place that we go to. It's called Manhattan's, and we're literally pretty much the youngest people there. But it's really sweet. They're super
But
cute.
you're close
They're
to
super cute.
Oxnard. You're close to Ventura.
Yeah. I mean, we don't go over there all the time, but. So I went to go get a pedicure because I'm like, okay, I had things to do and I needed to get a pedicure. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna pick a spot that has availability. So I went, and it was, I love people watching. It was a lot of fun. But it's funny because you know how you go to get your pedicure and they offer you like the hot
Yes.
stones and the wax, and I love all that. They didn't have any of it. And I'm like, that's just so weird. But
Like,
then,
not even an option?
No. But then I realized why, because there was nobody there like without a walker.
Oh.
I'm not
They don't
kidding.
like hot wax?
But they were so, I think their skin is probably too sensitive. As you get older, your skin gets more sensitive. But it was really funny. But I love people watching. So you could tell, like, there was the lady that was next to me. She had her hair all done and her lipstick and her, so she's walking around with a walker, but she is done to the T.
Yeah.
And she had, like, her bright blue nails getting done. And then you had the one beside her who you could just tell was super conservative, always got the same color on her nails, It was
Nude.
just really funny.
Nude.
And they, everybody, it was like a cheers, right? They walked in and
Yeah.
everybody knew them. But I was like,
Everybody
Yeah.
knows my name.
but nothing
Hilarious.
stays open past 9:00 in here.
I didn't know
doesn't.
that. I went to a rehearsal dinner out there for a wedding that was out at Gary Ranch. Shout out to Gary Ranch. I really want to get a gig there again. But yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah, it's a beautiful area, but yeah, I call it retirement city.
You cutting us off?
No, I didn't do nothing.
It's time to go down to the lobby.
Oh, because I have my hand on the button.
He's like, shut up, Diana.
Is he giving you the
I don't know what y'all
cue?
talking about right now. I actually, when
I
y'all
know
talking
we're
about the skin
overtime.
stuff, and I tuned out.
Yeah.
Where did you go? He's like, I went to Camarillo, but I
I'm
didn't
trying to
go
think about
there.
what I'm going to do tonight.
You're going to karaoke.
Damn, see, that's bad. See, I'm really going to stop
No, you're not.
because, no, I really am. Like, I already got my new Saturday
Who cares?
spot.
Like, if you enjoy it.
No, because people be popping up because they know I'm going to be there.
You have a
Like,
new
on my
Saturday
birthday.
spot?
I got a new Saturday spot for sure, 100%.
Is it at
Valley?
home?
Oh no, it's in Woodland Hills, 100%.
On
That's my new
Saturday
spot.
only?
Saturday. Well, I think they do it. They do it a few nights out of the week, but I just like Saturdays because there ain't nothing out here to do on Saturdays.
No. I mean, there is. It's just the same thing over
But tomorrow I got a quinceañera, so I mean, yes, tomorrow Saturday.
That's
so
cool.
I won't be at karaoke tomorrow.
You won't get drunk.
Yeah,
'Cause
and that family
free.
is fun. Yeah, they
Is it local?
they true Mexicans. Like they, it's a true quinceañera.
Is it local?
Santa Clarita.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, up in Santa Clarita. It's gonna be some ranch out in Santa Clarita Hills.
That's cool.
Yeah, and my son is in it. So
Oh, that's
I know.
nice.
I kind of saw the video of them
Yes,
practicing. That was
yeah.
cute.
So yeah, for the last 2 weeks, or not 2 weeks, sorry, for the last 2 months, they've been practicing every Saturday, and every practice was like a pre-quinceañera. Like
Yeah.
they had food, and they only drink tequila.
Such an ordeal.
Shout out to
those
Susie and Francisco if they listening to my podcast. But they're a super dope couple. They love to party, have fun. But all they drink is tequila. Like she gets you this just
They let her
tequila
bring
shots.
friends. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's just tequila shots all night long.
things. Like, I'll be there.
That's cool.
But yeah, so that's what I'm doing tomorrow. I don't know what I'm doing tonight yet.
It's all good. You'll figure it out, I'm sure.
Of course I am.
But if y'all want to know, he'll probably be at Madrono's for karaoke.
Damn.
It doesn't get published till Monday, but maybe.
Exactly.
Oh, there you go.
So
Friday.
next Friday.
Next Friday. I need me another spot. No, but we are about to be out of here. Thank you, Jeanette. We truly, truly,
Thank
truly
you. I hope you had
appreciate you.
fun.
I did. It was nice. It was fun. I guess
Was
I
it
do
fun?
have something to say.
You actually had something to say. We even went overtime.
Oh, there you go.
See?
I know,
Yeah,
I
that's-
figured. See, he's like my big brother. We're starting to fight like brother and sister now.
Are we?
We bicker a lot.
So good.
Keeps the blood flowing.
But yeah,
Passion.
we are in the elevator. We're going down back to the lobby. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Jeanette. Thank you, Diana. This is the One Life Podcast. Reach out to me on IG at One Life Brand. Hit Diana up at Socialholic TV. Or again, you can do the call-in number, 747-999-8021. Again, 747-999-8021.
How do we find you, or how do we get more information about DoubleTree?
So you can call. The number here is 661-265-1749, or you can go to hilton.com and the DoubleTree phone.
Love it.
So it's the Hilton by,
It
the
is a
DoubleTree
DoubleTree
by
by
Hilton.
In Palmdale.
Hilton.
Sweet.
All right. Well, thank you again, Jeanette.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. And we are out of here.
We are out. Peace out.